Hello Zanzibar, hello Tanzania, hello Africa, good morning to the world. You're most welcome. This is Ktv Tz Online, streaming all the way from Zanzibar, Tanzania, in a place called the Seacliff Hotel. It's one of the jewel places that today we are so much happy to bring you all whatever is happening around the world. I know you guys must be busy this morning, at least trying to grab a cup of coffee, and we are so much uplifted to bring you all this kind of event which is currently going to take place today in here, and you're going to be seeing vividly exactly what happens behind the whole logic of making coffee in out as well. We'll be together with one of my brothers right here. We'll be trying to bring you all whatever is going to be happening in here. Brother, how are you doing, man?
I'm fine. I'm very fine today. Very good morning to see many things that will be happening here, because this is not the only conference, but it is an international conference. Many people that are guests of honor and others, government leaders in our ground now.
Beautiful. Hosting the program, my name is Simon Charles Kisins, and we'll be together with my friend right here, Saddam, as you have heard him talking to you, saying hi to you. We'll be having lots of specialties in here, and we got lots of experts that will be joining us in here, trying to talk a little bit about the matter concerning fine coffee. And as we know, things are really growing hot, especially in Africa. And we got lots of guests that have been invited, and they're all like multinationalities. And we got people from Rwanda, from Zimbabwe, we got people from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, we got lots of them again from Tanzania. We got quite a good number of people from Uganda, Kenya. We got some all the way from Cameroon and the rest of the ports. We got some from the US, we got some from United Kingdom, we got some from Italy as well, and we have some all the way from Brazil, including the locals. I'm talking about the Zanzibaris. A lot have been happening around, and today, before the guest of honor gets into the house, we got lots of people that are just coming in, and they're all like trying to exchange up ideas, sharing experiences, and we are good enough trying to bring you live on whatever is happening. This is Ktv Tz Online, and as I told you earlier, this is like the great bride that we got all the way from Zanzibar. Aside of what we'll be doing in here, we're also going to be inviting some of the great experts to be trying to help us to tell us a little bit more about the market, about the production, about the future marketability of the whole jewel thought of coffee kind of things. Sadan, we have been together since yesterday, and we saw lots of things happening. I was really quite much more touched with the kind of competition that these guys were doing. And very fortunately, we got two young boys all the way from Tanzania winning of the competition. How was that to you as well?
For me, it was so excited because Tanzania, we're looking like we just do many things, and one of the speakers said we are just we are on behalf of President Magufuli to present to the world that we can do many things. So I'm very proud to see Tanzania to go very high level on making coffees. Not only coffee, but specialist coffee. That's what Africans fine coffee are doing. It's specialist coffee that is very good, and in one word we can say cappuccino. It's very interested, very nice and very strong. Yeah, it's because there's two different of coffee. So today here we are just say special coffee. That's why I say this is amazing. I
got a thing that makes me laugh. You know what, guys? For the first time, this guy tested up the cappuccino yesterday, and was the only thing that he could enjoy out of all what has been happening around there. So aside of all what was covered yesterday, we covered a very good kind of lesson on how one can truly start up his own business when it comes to selling coffee. We have been sharing lots of experiences. We have lots of experts that have been sharing experiences with a good kind of group that was here. As I told you earlier, that we had people from different countries and they were trying to share ideas, but we had lecturers that are really specialists in this kind of field. But the good thing that really left me having like a great memorable kind of impact was seeing that the African coffee market is growing, but we got a strong challenge on the kind of production. This is slightly bringing this kind of doubts here and there, but we are here with lots of experts today, and this kind of event is definitely going to clear out most of the doubts that most of the coffee growers, coffee processors, coffee drinkers also might be developing in their own kind of framework as well. One very beautiful thing that you have to be aware about, we are soon expecting the minister concerned with trade affairs from Zanzibar. You know, we got this beautiful government, the revolutionary government of Zanzibar, and we're expecting Her Excellence Ambassador Amina Salum Ali, one of the great ladies that has really done a lot in transforming up the outlook versus the ladies' kind of outlook. We are so much grateful in trying to see what Afca Specialty Coffee Expo Zanzibar kind of event is trying to do. Domestic specifically, we are also seeing this kind of market is slightly growing up. But specifically talking about the growth rate of the African coffee market, especially in some countries, we are still so much proud of what is happening in Ethiopia, but also in East Africa. We got like a role pillar model. I'm talking about our brothers from Kenya. We'll be also trying to take time going to talk to some of the representatives of these all kind of countries. Now, how do you really view this kind of market growth when you speak at the coffee market, especially in Africa? Aside of what we are now currently trying to cover up, how do we do with this kind of coffee, whatever, especially the fine coffee thing? How do you view the kind of market growth?
I can view the market growth because I think the coffee is not sound good to the people who say coffee is a big trade. But I want to tell you that coffee now is going to be growth in Tanzania, in Zimbabwe, in Uganda, and everywhere. As we see, the coffee is a special coffee that is produced by Afca, African Fines Coffee. So what I want to say is growing of coffee marketing in Tanzania, especially they are associated with ASAS as a sponsor to make it good coffee, to make cappuccino and other things. So the growing of coffee is depending on our country, how people can take it easy and to know what the importance of coffee and how sweet can be in the coffee. Because sometimes we can think that coffee is bitter, but coffee is not a bitter. There's a kind of coffee that is made up by many people in many hotels in Africa, in Tanzania, especially in people that are tourists going to having some fun and sometimes to be rest. So I can say growth of coffee, it can be a good opportunity for people to use for as employment. There's a young people to know that, and without forgetting that this is not only in Tanzania. They have a lot of people that are associated with like the Democratic Republic of Congo also doing this, Malawi, Rwanda, and other countries. So I think if those countries of Africa can be growth by coffee, so I think there'll be very good marketing, very big marketing, high. I can say massive market.
Just a matter of reminder, remember this is streamed all the way from Zanzibar, Tanzania, the place called Sickliff Resort, and my name is Simon Charles Kisins, and we got our beautiful brothers all the way from Afca. Has really been a great thing having these guys right here. As you can see, we are soon about to start the actual program, and as I told you initially, that we're also expecting the guest of honor to arrive right here. According to the main speaker today, according to the master of the ceremony, it's like it's in the next few minutes, the guest of honor will be right here, and it's like the program is going to be fully ready for the sake of having it. No, we got like a growth of over 10% of the coffee market in Uganda. Roughly was actually the actual figure was 13, and we got like a growth market at the growth rate of more than 100% in Kenya, and we are also seeing some much more growth in the market of coffee in Tanzania. And we got like a good example that has been set with our brothers from Ethiopia. But nevertheless, these guys all the way from Latin America, I'm talking about Brazil, they're still doing quite a good job as well. Do you think Africa is really going to step into that kind of market and have a good position of trying to compete with what is happening elsewhere as well? The production was still very good, but the market is slightly growing, but still in some of the countries it's not really convincing up. Do you think we got any thought of potentiality? Because Afca is truly promising us that we all got the potentials to make sure that the market the coffee market is growing tremendously, especially in Africa. Do you think this is really going to be the case with most of these African countries?
For me, I can say that for the marketing of African coffee, it can be higher and more bigger than we think, because coffee now is produced. Without forgetting that this conference, the main aims of this conference is to give people like a workshop to teach them how to make a coffee, how to trade, how to roasters, how to coffee and alliance coffee industry, how to deal with the marketing, how people they can be good on this trade. This is a very professional way of making coffee. As we see yesterday, many people from different countries, from Uganda, this is from Ethiopia, but especially I can say in Africa now, the marketing is going to be very, very big for very high population of people now are using. But we can see that in Tanzania, in Zanzibar, especially my country, we can say people to say that this is coffee, it's not sound good sometimes, but coffee is a special drinking that many people. I have a vivid example that yesterday I talking with one of the guest of honor in our conference on African Finest Coffee Association conference, that he say he just quit the job because of loving coffee. So that he's very interested that coffee can be growth, and that now he in Tanzania to make a machine that can be good to make a coffee, light coffee, cappuccino, and different other kind of coffee. So without forgetting that we are here, that you can see in front of you that our chairs is empty here for waiting for our guest of honor and to welcoming other people. And we see Mr. Samuel, executive producer Samuel Kamau, that here to announce and to welcoming some of guests of honor. Thank you.
Beautiful. And he's just introducing a bit of the speakers that are already in the house, and we are soon going to join someone very important all the way from Kenya, and he's a great lecturer. He has been doing lots of lecturing around the African continent. He has as well been outside of Africa, talking a little bit about what is happening in the coffee market, especially in Kenya. And yesterday, if you remember, he gave a very strong kind of lecture, and he was trying to carve out what is seriously happening in Kenya. And we have seen tremendously growth in the coffee market in Kenya. And Afca, one of the countries that have been really doing better in trying to improve the situation, would be that place. I'm talking about Kenya as a country per se as well. And he said he's very soon going to join us in here, and he'll be talking a little bit about what is really happening in Kenya as well. Talking specifically about the production, we are slightly getting a bit much more better in different kind of areas as well. And luckily enough, and we are soon going to welcome up the guest of honor, according to what I'm being signaled in here from my camera people as well, that the guest of honor has just got in the campus, and the rest of the kind of participants have all just been seated over. And we can use these few kind of minutes we got in here, at least saying hi to our brothers all the way from Kenya as well. Hello, brother.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Beautiful. My name is Simon, all the way from Ktv Tz Online, and very fortunately today we're being followed live here by the international viewers as well. But firstly, I give you this chance at least introducing yourself and bring us the salutations all the way from Kenya as well.
Thank you very much. We are humbled to get this opportunity. First, my name is Benson Apoyo, Head of Marketing Department at Agriculture and Food Authority, Coffee Directorate, formerly Coffee Board of Kenya.
Beautiful. You can see what a great man we're having around in the house. You gave a very strong lecture yesterday, and it's by no doubt that in East Africa, you guys are truly doing a great job, especially as far as the market for coffee is concerned out. Can we please a little bit take this time at least sharing up with our dear viewers what is happening in Kenya as far as the coffee market is concerned? Thank you. Come.
Thank you very much. In Kenya, we are not different from other countries of Africa. By large, we are a coffee producing country, and our economy has relied for a long period of time on coffee industry. The challenges that are in the coffee industry, coupled with the low coffee prices, they have really forced us to look into other alternative ways of marketing Kenyan coffee. And therefore, this time around, we decided to leverage on the domestic coffee consumption, which is also by extension in Africa, we consider it as the safest way of marketing the continent's coffee.
How hard would that be, like pressing up into the people's mind, especially when it comes to coffee? They usually say that Africa doesn't really have that kind of coffee culture, even though yesterday we had a very beautiful kind of lecture, and those who attended, of course, would have a different kind of green light. How are the locals welcoming this idea of expanding up the coffee market internally, as you have just briefed us that you're currently focusing into the local kind of market as well?
Yeah, this is an area which we call a niche market. It has never been tapped fully to its potentiality. So the reason is that we have been for a long period of time relied on external market, that is international market. Now the international market has got its ups and downs. One of them is price fluctuations. When the prices are depressed, will you tell the farmers that you will stop growing coffee until the prices improve? The question is no. Why? Because the same people who consume Kenyan coffee or African coffee are the same people who are also living in Africa. So you don't say that the African people, they don't have the love for coffee. They don't have the mouth, they don't have the stomach to feed the coffee. we are forgetting the health benefits which have been associated with coffee drinking culture, like some medicinal value. We have not been aware of that. So of late, we have done research and we have found that African coffee and coffee by large has got some medicinal value. Now, when the farmers get the depressed prices, like probably when they find that the one bag which weighs around 50 kilograms sells at less than $100. Yeah. That is below the cost of production. Now, in Africa, when we do the same thing, we are trying to salvage this industry from three malpractices. Export of job. Our youth need the job. Yeah. When they do the value addition, the barista will have a job in Kenya instead of exporting the work of a barista to a foreign country. Secondly, a coffee cup analyst, the people who test the quality of the coffee, they shall be done here because the consumer needs the best. So our internal industry will employ the services of the coffee analyst to understand the cup profile of that particular coffee. So the job will also be here. Now, when this coffee is now brewed and packaged, or maybe somebody would like, after the service, would like to take this coffee back home. Now, we have the people who are called the art and designers, those people who do the packaging. This coffee is going to be packaged. We are going to employ the opportunity, the service, expanding the market, employment kind. And then lastly, the milk, which might go with it, the sugar, which might go with it. We are creating jobs for the farmers. So we are expanding the line along the value chain. And then this is what is going to help us to get competitive edge.
Beautiful. That's very professional. And I told you earlier that we got a very professional guy today, all the way from Kenya. Aside of the events that is happening today, we got very strong men here. And they're doing quite great jobs in trying to expand up the African coffee market as well. And we are so much grateful, at least, trying to bring you all these. And remember, you are now watching live streaming all the way from Ktv Tz Online. We're actually based in Zanzibar. And we are so much uplifted and so much really touched today, at least, trying to bring you all this in here. We have seen that coffee is grown mostly from the peripheral regions in Kenya. But unfortunately, when I was trying to follow up the kind of records that you guys have, especially the statistics, you got more than 128 kind of coffee stores or coffee shops in Nairobi, where I believe you don't do lots of farming. And how does this benefit the growers? As you just said in here, you need to at least make sure that everyone benefits from the same kind of production that is happening. But most of the shops are in Nairobi and the production is done elsewhere. How does this work?
Yes, we are having about 124 coffee houses which have been opened in Nairobi of late. Now, the question is, how does the grower benefit from this number of coffee houses? Yeah. The thing is that formerly, we are selling coffee. Coffee is traded at the Nairobi Coffee Exchange. That is where every person who has been licensed can only go and buy coffee for sale or for export. Now, this one has been a preserve of the exporters. Only those people who export coffee are only allowed to go and transact business there. Now, when we expand it to the coffee houses, now they will also have the opportunity to go and compete for that coffee. So not only are the buyers who are going to export the coffee who are allowed, we are going to create competition at the auction we have created competition at the auction by allowing more than 124 coffee houses to go and purchase their coffee at the Nairobi Coffee Exchange. By that one, yes, by that one now it means that the farmers will have to price their coffee above the margin so that they can make a profit. Now, when we leave it to the exporters, they will now even like to get it at even the lowest price, and that the farmer might not going to.
Sometimes they can overlap it.
Yes, they might not be able to get the benefit. Then one thing which I want you to tell you the benefit of domestic coffee consumption. Yes. I've told you about the employment creation, but I've never told you about the amount of revenue it generates to the government. When the coffee houses, we have done a coffee census in Nairobi. When the coffee houses they employ over 2,000 employees in Nairobi. These people, they also remit pay as you earn to the government. They remit pay as you earn to the government.
So it's not about the locals benefiting, but also
even the government. Then again, when they make a profit, the law requires that you declare 30% of your corporate of your profit under the corporate tax. You declare it to the government. So you find that the government has got a wider net for general revenue, and that one is going to really to help us to generate more income, to invest back to the economy. And that is the essence of us trying to do domestic coffee consumption. If at all we export our coffee, it means therefore that we are going to lose the revenue. And that is what we want African countries to adopt. Yes.
Beloved, we just didn't want you to miss anything. That's why we had to invite up our brothers Benson here all the way from Kenya. And beautiful, I have no doubt that you really enjoyed our session. And maybe one last word before we release you. I know you're so much tight today. You've got lots of things to be covered. Maybe what you really want to tell to the Africans and to the international coffee market today.
What I would like, thank you for the opportunity. What I would like to take the international and the African coffee producing countries, that there's a lot of trade between African countries which have never tapped. We are looking into the West. The West has got its vulgaries. Trade between Kenya and Tanzania, trade between Kenya and Cameroon, trade between Kenya and Nigeria. The entrepreneurs will not be required to get visa. With us, we did require to get a visa to enter into Tanzania because of the benefits and also the kind of political arrangement which are there. And therefore, the trade between African countries is quite so made easy. But we are not tapping it. We are looking into the West. So let us tap the internal trade, intertrade between African countries, which is not suffering from any non-tariff barriers. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Thank you very much. Please enjoy your day and keep enjoying the rest of the events. Beloved, that was Benson all the way from Kenya, and we have been exchanging lots of ideas right here. Thank you very much, and we are soon also going to join up, because with the information that I'm getting right here, the guest of honor is soon going to arrive in the house, and we'll be having lots of events taking place in here. My camera guys are always ready right there, and my director is signaling me out that soon things are going to be hot right here as well. Yeah, sure. And as this is happening today, we'll be also trying to get in touch with the rest of the people from other countries as well, and we'll be trying also to talk a little bit about what has been happening. We got an experience all the way from the Kenyan coffee market as well. Do you have anything on behalf of what Mr. Benson has just been telling us as well? He's really an expert. He was really talking from the point of understanding, and you could see that he was touching all the hot points as well. But he mentioned something very important about the political setting of these kind of African countries, and how beneficiary would it be, like trading within Africa instead of thinking about going to the Western countries as well. And oh, beautiful. The guest of honor is getting in the house now. Just a little break and we'll be getting soon back in here. And as we told you, today we are having a very beautiful, committed leader all the way from the government of Zanzibar. We call it the revolutionary government of Zanzibar. Her Excellence, Ambassador Amina Salum Ali, one of the great performers from this kind of government. And she has set a clear example to most of the women who think that it's not possible as well. And today she has this kind of great opportunity of getting in here and coming in as the guest of honor. What do you say seriously about this lady coming in, and today she's a guest of honor, and Afca has really seen that she can do something and deliver to the entire public, especially in the coffee industry, on this kind of zone as well?
I can see this is a good opportunity, and opportunity of people to know that this can be very good ways for them to get an employment. Because as you can see, Simon, that we know we have opportunity sometime, but we can use the opportunity. So you have to implement your idea when you think about something, maybe business or anything that you can think that can be beneficial to other people, that can create more opportunity to the young leader, to the people that they need a job. Because as we can see that coffee, you can think that how coffee, but coffee now is a business, now is something that is very special to the people who can get any good opportunity to work and to get more salary, to get more money to export. As you can see that people here are many people that are very, very special people to come here in conference and to say about how coffee can be implemented, how coffee can be exported, how coffee can be produced. So this is very good opportunity for Tanzania as well. There's other business we can think, but I think coffee now is going to open new opportunity to the young people, to the old people who can say that there's no opportunity, there's no employment. This is no time for Africa, for other people from different countries, especially in Zanzibar, in Tanzania. As we can see, this is our government give many people opportunity to work and to open their mind and to think that we can do our own, we can do our idea, we can proceed with any specific opportunity that is come around us. So we have to use the opportunity. We have to know that opportunity never, don't think that everyone can come to tell you that do this. You have to think for your own. If other people think about coffee, now coffee is going to be specialistic coffee in Africa, in the world. I can see the workshop here, that people around, they're just looking for searching for production of coffee, how coffee can be made, how coffee, as you can see, that people are looking as and to know how coffee can be made, how light coffee, how strong coffee, because coffee sometimes we can say it can be strong and can be light and can be as a cappuccino, and we can mix it and with the milk in it. So as you can see that people are just waiting for guest of honor, and others they are just surrounding to the many tent to see how people do business. As you can see here, as my fellow my dear, you are now watching a Ktv Tz Online to see how people can be beneficial, how people can be use opportunity, how can people use marketing to sell their own coffee, strong coffee, specialist coffee, good coffee, light coffee, and the others issues. As you can see here, people they're waiting for guest of honor to be welcomed by Mr. Samuel as a executive director. As you can see, I want to welcome you, my fellow presenter here, Simon, about what's happening.
Beautiful. We'll be soon getting back. We're just going for a very short break in here, and when we get back in here, we'll be getting one of the very good expert on coffee kind of industry all the way from Uganda, as she's one also of a very good kind of lecturer. We had her lecture yesterday, and today we also want to see her speaking live in here as well. So we'll be soon back after this very short break as well. Good, as we continue having some of the very important potential guests today, and they are trying also to have an inspection of what has been happening in here. As I told you, it's this very special kind of coffee day, and we are dwelled in here at Sea Cliff Hotel, all the way from Zanzibar, Tanzania, somewhere around East Africa. Hello Tanzania, hello Africa, hello the international market, and as we promised you, soon after this very short break, we'll be having a beautiful lady all the way from Uganda. Aside of being a partner, a member within the coffee kind of sector, she's also very expert, one of the greatest kind of lecturer. Telling you the truth, I happened to love this mama yesterday when she was delivering up the lecture that we had. Mommy, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
Beautiful. My name is Simon, all the way from Ktv Tz Online, and currently we are having the whole world following us from the live kind of online connection right here. Firstly, would you please try to introduce yourself for the public awareness of our dear viewers in here as well?
My name is Teopista Nakungu. I come from Uganda. I represent International Women's Coffee Alliance Uganda chapter.
How does that sound? International Women's Coffee Alliance in Uganda. I love it already. I'm following it already. Come on, ma'am.
We are a group of self-organized women. We are self-accounting. Our core business is to lobby and advocate to address barriers that hinder women's full economic empowerment. So
it's like you're empowering women from that one way or another.
Yes, we are empowering women in the coffee sector to actively participate, to be recognized, to benefit in the coffee sector.
And for how long have you been doing this? And does it seem to have any thought of like green hands, green future to the entire women's population especially?
From the IWCA perspective, this movement has been around for quite some time. Started in 2003 in Nicaragua, and it has grown to up to 24 countries known as chapters. two of which are actually consuming countries, that is Japan and Australia. In Uganda, it started in 2010, and we have been working, organizing women, trying to make them aware of their potential in the coffee sector. Personally, as a lady in coffee, my journey started a long time ago.
Beautiful. I would love to hear that kind of experience in your story.
Right. The professional coffee, besides growing up on a coffee farm, started way back during my university days when I did projects to address the quality issues.
Beautiful.
And so I have over 15 years experience in the coffee.
Over 15 years experience. Beautiful. I would also love to hear a little bit. I know it's not so much a big deal when it comes to coffee market, especially in Uganda, but I'm also very familiar with the statistics that your market is growing at the rate of 13% roughly. And is this really impacting in any form the women's population specifically?
Like I said, our core business is to lobby and advocate for recognition of women's contribution, because in the lower levels of the value chain, women are contributing over 70%.
Over 70%
of the work in weeding, picking, and drying. But somehow they lose ownership when the coffee starts going into transporting and selling.
Yeah.
They lose ownership. They get lost.
Anyway, I know you guys are really much interested in hearing what is happening in Uganda. As I told you, she's a very sweet lady today, and we're trying to share ideas in here. And yesterday she delivered a very, very lovely kind of presentation. And just a matter of break a little bit, I would love to hear, how do you really look at this kind of event happening today? And we started with it yesterday, and today we are also going to continue with it. How do you really look at this? Is it really going to help, especially the women, as far as the coffee industry is concerned?
Yes, because besides promoting domestic consumption, and this is not unique to women, this is the solution to addressing the volatility of prices, the issues that are surrounding the coffee sector, especially to us in producing countries, lies in improving domestic consumption. And so this requires a concerted effort. And why not women to get involved? Women, when we get involved in something, we do it diligently.
Yes.
Readily. Readily. And when we get committed, and if we realize value and get recognized, the solution in promoting domestic consumption, especially in Africa, lies with the women. We're the ones who decide what is eaten at home. We decide the menus at home.
Don't you feel like I'm being pushed at the corner and I just got one lady right here and I can't really find my way off? Beautiful. All right, I just have to say yes, no problem. I mean, let's fix it in there. Professionally, if you look at the coffee kind of market, it's by no doubt that it's growing in Africa. But yesterday I was really touched by one of the points when one of the lecturers was talking a little bit, that if we only focus on the quality of the product, it's not seriously going to touch all the kind of buyers. We got some of the buyers that are really sensitive in trying to look on how does everybody participate and benefit from this kind of framework. You have the best quality of coffee. But from the other side, when you look at the farmers who are actually producing this coffee, their life standards are really, really much more miserable. To you, as one of the women, and I'm sure in Uganda you got lots of women farmers, how do you guys really look at this? Aside of the good quality of coffee, having all the market, like speaking so nicely about the quality of coffee, but the growers are not really that much being much more recognized up here as you're fighting for the women. I know you got some women who are just farmers growing coffee here and there. What are your comments on there?
I think what all of us need to focus on is to attach value to our coffee. What does it mean by attaching value? It's not, the value is not only the price that we receive. Let's attach value to the processes let's appreciate the stories. Let's appreciate all the work that is being done and translate that into the value. In most cases, when you look at people taking coffee at home, especially in Africa, they are looking for the poor quality coffee. How is that going to transform the sector? So a lot of things need to be considered here, and like one presenter said, diversification is very, very important. So much as we are looking for solutions to improve the coffee, let's look at solutions to look at our living income as we are attaching value. If I am going to sell coffee, that this is coffee which I am producing, I get manure from the animals that I keep. It's a holistic approach to protecting the environment.
That we need to look from all angles.
Yes, and that is what will create value for our coffee.
For sure, no, for sure, you guys might be feeling like having this lady for the whole day. But you know what? As I told you, she's still a bit much more tight, and she got a lot of things to be doing today. And it's a special coffee day for us as well. And so much pleased with what Afca is doing and collecting all these kind of people from different countries. And we would love to hear one last word from this beautiful mama from Uganda. If you got a thing to tell to the leaders, I know political situations have got something to do with the coffee revamps kind of market, whatever. What would you really be commenting on the situation in Africa if we really need to see coffee market growing in any kind of expenses?
One, we need to appreciate all the participants along the whole value chain, and most importantly, we need to give women a voice. Especially in producing countries, we contribute a lot. We need to be recognized, we need to be appreciated, we need to be involved in decision making. Yeah, because sometimes we are not part of even the training programs, yet we are supposed to be implementing these things. So my urge, the sense of belonging, the sense of recognition, the sense of allowing us to speak, to participate, will go a long way in transforming the coffee sector.
Remarkable impact.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, ma'am. I wish you a very beautiful day. I know you got a lot to be doing today, and thank you for joining us. Beautiful. Beloved, you're still following a beloved Extreme all the way from Ktv Tz Online, and this is like the very, very big brand in Zanzibar, and we are streaming live all the way from Seacliff Resort, all the way from Zanzibar, Tanzania. It's somewhere around East Africa. And we got a lot happening today, and our dear big potentials like the special guests have just arrived in here, and they're still making some sort of inspection on different kind of sites, and we got lots of participants in here, and we got lots of experts that are right here trying to show what they have. And as you can see inside there, like everybody's just seated, ready, waiting for the events happening over. And we got all the kind of guest owners coming in here, but we are still waiting for Her Excellence Bibi Amina Salm Ali, and we will soon get back in here and see what is all still happening in there as well, and keep following up on what is happening. And we got lots of big potentials in here, some of the leaders from the revolutionary government, but we also have got some of the leaders from the government of the United Republic of Tanzania. I'm seeing one of the guys from the Ministry of Culture all the way from the government of Tanzania, of the United Republic. I'll be right back as well. Good, beautiful. We had a very short break, as we told you earlier, and we are so much blessed again. Aside of talking to different people from different countries, we are so much blessed having a very beautiful lady, very strong lecturer, but she's quite an experienced lady when it comes to the coffee industry. You're most welcome. I personally know, but my name is Simon. Would you please at least introduce yourself to the dear audience that is following us right now?
Hello, I'm Judy Gaines, and I've been covering the coffee market as well as other commodities for 36 years.
36 years covering up the coffee market. Beautiful. Where are you from, Judy?
I'm from New York, but I actually reside in Panama.
Beautiful. For us, it's something very new. I know you guys are trying to cover something about the African coffee market in a way, like. And from what you have seen, do you think the African coffee market has any thought of future?
Well, of course it does. I mean, I've been coming to various African countries now for 17 years. I've been to almost every single one of the Afca conferences except for the very first one. And I see how much has happened here and how coffee has evolved and has a strong place in the world market. And it's no longer just, African coffees.
Beautiful.
I mean,
from the lecture that you have been giving yesterday, we could see that Brazil is doing a great job. And in Africa, of course, we got these Ethiopians, they are trying their best. What is it that Brazil has and Africa doesn't have?
So what Brazil has is efficiency. So you have one country that has coffee farms that are treated as an agro-industrial giant. And you have very strong support for that. And so they've been able, because of topography and the size of the farm, has been able